What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the FantasyAlarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. We're looking at the Tuesdays at 12 game main slate here over on DraftKings. We do have a little rain symbol there. The Yankees Padres. I know, living in Boston, that if I open my weather app, I have legit rain till next Monday. The entire weather app just shows rain from varying percentages from yesterday through next Monday. So if you're in the East Coast area, I would imagine you're experiencing some rain as this New York San Diego game is, as it was delayed to start the Monday slate. So,
and then in the fourth inning, they delayed it as well.
So something to watch for. There isn't a lot of rain, though. We do have a weather symbol in Colorado. It's not snowing in May in Colorado, is it? Like, well, I guess we'll have to. Well, you never know. But we do have a Coors slate with Detroit in Coors. We're still in Sutter Health with Seattle, and we're back to Tampa, Philly, and George Steinbrenner Field. So the three ballparks that we highlight often are all on this slate when it comes to offensive potential here. Phillies, with all that left-handed power in Tampa Bay, feels like a spot we're going to look to target this week for the next couple of days in this series here. Paul Skeens is your top price pitcher. He gets St. Louis. Last time we saw him, he was giving up a bunch of home runs to the Cubs. We'll see if he can right the ship here against St. Louis. Thoughts here, man? What big slate? We talk about this a lot. Ownership, ways to be different, value. We're at a part in the rotation where there's some big names here.
Happy Tuesday. It's a very interesting slate. Really good names, really good pitching, really good offensive spots to target. So there's going to be a lot of decisions that we have to make because we can't play it all, I think there's a few things that stand out to me right off the bat.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think, you can look at a slate and be like, yes, I would like to play Paul Skeens. Yes, I would like to play Zach Wheeler. And I think you can do both of those things here. The first thing that stands out to me is Chris Sale at $8,800.
I was going to say, has to be Chris Sale at $8,800.
It is Chris Sale, and it's not even close. Because you and I had looked at it, I believe, going into either I think it was the Arizona start. And you were like, is Chris Sale, like, what happened? I was like, it just looks like kind of, and we both, came to the conclusion.
$8,000.
Yeah, he came to the conclusion that he was just kind of getting unlucky.
Yeah.
And boy, that was correct. And was it the Rockies? Possibly.
He still got unlucky. He took a loss going 7 innings.
He took a loss going 7. Absolutely shoved in Coors, 10 Ks, whatever. So, like, there's just no chance he's going to be this price ever again. So, like, just whatever the result of the whatever the end result is, I'm willing to live with it because he's $8,800. We talk about this all the time. The Reds offense is completely bipolar, and it's just they're really good or really bad, and there's never seemingly anything in between, right? They're never.
You were an ass man tonight. You had yourself a good day.
All ass guys were rolling on the Monday slate, and now we're sailing into Tuesday. That's all I got.
I caught the sailing. I got it.
No, I know. I was also I wasn't. I just couldn't think of it. I just couldn't go anywhere else with it.
Sure.
As we record here, it's pretty late, and all the brain's fried. Okay.
My Celtics lost in overtime, blowing a 20-point lead. So
that's fair. That's fair.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Literally. I mean, kind of. Yeah.
Adding to your point, right? Chris Sale is a great price, but it's always like teams pitch against Chicago, right? And
yes.
You have Seth Lugo. We consider Seth Lugo to be a pretty good pitcher. He has a ceiling. We started against Houston, 8 shutout, 8 strikeouts, 35 fantasy points, 20 in his last start against Tampa Bay. In Kansas City, that offense again starting to wake up, starting to come alive, starting to be the team that we thought maybe they could be. So you have those two guys right there in the mid-range, and you have one of my favorite pitchers all season long, Matthew Liberatore at $8,200 going up against Pittsburgh. Now he draws the unfortunate opposite matchup of Paul Skeens.
Yep.
But we've seen Paul Skeens give up some runs, not be as, last year he was, unhittable, and every time he took the mound, guaranteed win. He's still an elite pitcher, but we've seen him give up some runs and not be as dominant maybe as he started out to be. You give me Liberatore, who's coming off, not the Cincinnati start, but good start against Milwaukee. Good start for the most of the season here against Pittsburgh, a team that struggles against lefties. I'll go ahead and run that back with him. I like the $8,200 price tag with Liberatore there.
There's nothing that would suggest that like if Paul Skeens were to give up one run here, that could be enough for a win for Liberatore. Because there's nothing the Pirates offense can really do very often. Like they are not a
25% strikeout rate, sixth highest. Their 226 batting average is 20th. Their ISO against left-handed pitching this year is 23rd at 110. Their 279 WOBA against left-handed pitching is 22nd. Some of those numbers are actually a little bit higher than they were, I think, in their last start against a lefty. But still, I've been teaming Liberatore this season. This 8K range, Sale, Lugo, Liberatore is like super, super loaded here. It's not to say you can't play a Wheeler versus Tampa Bay, obviously, or Lopez, who you're a big fan of, against Baltimore, but it doesn't feel like a need to spend all the way up on this slate.
No, and I think you raise a good point, and it's a great conversation because you started the show by talking about the 4 ballparks that we enjoy like bats in. Yeah. So Coors is obviously going to be priced up. I don't know if you've looked at who Seattle Athletic game is pitching, but Earn Dog is pitching for Seattle.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Springs, who has not gotten out in Sutter Health, I think, yet this year. So, I'm interested in bats in that game. We know that they're and obviously, I think living in this 8K range, and I think even some guys below that make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Where's the below start for you? Do we we've been in on Hayden Wesneski a few times this year. They've pushed him now twice though, and that's a little concerning for me. He hasn't pitched in over a week, I think, at this point, or a week at this point. I had picked him up the stream last week, and they pushed him on the Wednesday start, and then they pushed him on the Friday start, and now they're supposedly starting him here on Tuesday. Would you go there at 72, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about just wanting to get him rest, which I don't. Again, with Houston and their weird rest stuff, right? Like Framber earlier in the year, randomly needing rest. Now Wesneski needing rest. Obviously, for Framber, it didn't matter. Apparently, he's just good, and we're just pitching and whatever. I mean, I love the price. Because he had built up, he was good enough to become an 8K pitcher. Mm-hmm. And now we're talking about one bad start and he's basically down a lot. I'm okay with it. I think that there's obviously talented pitchers down here. Wesneski, Clark Schmidt's a talented pitcher. He hasn't been great, but he was really good in that last start against Toronto. Jackson Jobe, I'm not totally against using pitchers against the Rockies this year in Coors. It's not a bad approach. So
he has moments of this Houston game, he was pitching well in, and then he just lost it. And he's a young pitcher. Yeah, that will certainly happen. But yeah, we've thrown guys in Coors all season long. So
sometimes, I mean, for Jackson Jobe to be $6,800, it would be something that's just something I'd consider, right? Sure. With how cheap that is for the talent that he is.
I agree. Anything else that you would pitch here?
No. I mean, Sean Burke was really good his last start. I can already tell you without seeing any type of ownership on the Tuesday slate that the Royals will be popular because that's been what the Royals have been every slate lately, because
they've also been so
price.
cheap.
Yeah, it's the price, right? And it's not just like, oh wow, like everyone, it's literally like the top of the order minus Bobby Witt is so cheap. India's been sub 3K, Garcia's been sub 4K. The Pasquantino was what, $3,100 or whatever he was on the. So yeah, it's only Witt that you really can't afford. So if you wanted to just like attack chalk, obviously Burke is the guy, but I don't think you need to on this slate.
No, I agree with you. All right, we'll go on over to catcher here. Again, a position that we'll look at again at 5 o'clock when the lineups come out. Myself and Keith, but Salvi is under 4K at $3,800. You mentioned Royals just being inexpensive, so you have him there. Jeffers versus Povich at $3,700. We might be playing some minute. You saw who's active for Minnesota. Royce Lewis.
We're doomed. We are so doomed.
We're all the way back.
Dude, we are so doomed.
Here.
So
we got some Minnesota versus Povich and that horrifically bad Baltimore pitching staff. Those are obviously just a couple of names in the mid tier. If you wanted to spend up, certainly plenty of options. Carson Kelly homered again. Verlander in a small ballpark feels a little dangerous. Could get some runs for Chicago. Here, Kyle Raleigh against Springs, as you mentioned. Springs doesn't get anybody out in Sutter Health there, so the Detroit's obviously priced up. So plenty of potential spots for us if you want to spend up. But again, I just don't think you have to here.
I don't think you have to unless I think the big dumper is probably it, right? Like you play Raleigh or you go all the way down.
Yeah, I agree. I think you play Raleigh, you go down. I would 100% call that. Again, Prez, even Francisco Alvarez, Gallons,
Kirk,
Jeffers.
Kirk 32. Yeah, I love Jeffers. Yeah, Jeffers.
Game Moreno gets Peterson. Again, Peterson's been good this year, but it's very difficult unless you're apparently Griffin Canning, to pitch against Arizona this season. So
Mitch Garver will be in the middle of the Seattle lineup because Polanco still can't swing righty.
It's true. Can't swing from the right side. That's probably it. Again, we'll see who's in the lineup or not. We'll be able to adjust that a little bit there. First base then. First base at the very top. Alonso homered again tonight. He's got Gallant at 55. And then we have Harper at $5,400. Vlad against Anderson. Again, is Anderson going to continue to outpitch his metrics at 53? Michael Busch against Verlander. Torkelson in Coors against Dolander at $5,100. Then Ben Rice rounding out the 5K range.
Yeah, it's hard to not like basically everybody. I love Vladdy. Blue Jays have actually been good against lefties. Torque is going to get a lot of ownership, 51. Alonso just is amazing. So that's what I got for you.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a lot of talent up at the top. Big slate, so plenty of players. You work your way down the list here. Let's see. Where would you go next, I guess, is the question.
Next, Christian Walker, 39. Salvi, 38.
Okay, Gavin Sheets at 35.
Gavin Sheets, 35. Ty France, 35. Ty France has been pretty good.
Yeah. Ascantino, as we just talked about there, 34.
Wilson Contreras. Can he continue against Paul Skeens?
Yeah.
You know who's probably going to be popular? And ever since you said he doesn't swing the bat, Keith. All he's done is hit home runs.
He'll be popular because there's probably it's a big slate. As I said, nothing at second base, but having second base eligibility.
The second base eligibility, yep.
Is going to help. And in Coors Field, second base eligibility with the power surge that he's starting to have a little bit here.
Yep.
Yeah, going to be popular for sure. Let's see.
Kurtz is going to eventually homer.
Yeah.
Maybe at home. Maybe he has by the time this show's over.
Well, we'll see. All right. So again, it looks like you can really spend up. The mid tier is kind of blah, and there's some good value here at first.
Yep.
Second base, as we mentioned, you have the Detroit in core. So Gleiber's expensive. Ketel Marte gets a lefty at 53. That was always his spot. Stott Rasmussen's a good pitcher, but
Yes.
he doesn't pitch deep into games. And again, that ballpark is something to watch for. Albies versus a lefty and Abbott at $4,700. So
Love that.
a lot of guys with the right split matchup for themselves here at the top of second base.
Yeah, I mean, right away. I mean, Ketel and Albies, right off the bat. Those are death taxes play those two specifically when they're facing lefties, right?
Yep. Agreed. I got a Bonnie's up to $4,500, man. That's hilarious. Just with the
does not matter. The algo just spitting out whatever they are, whatever it's spitting out.
I mean, technically he's hitting 400 in his last 10 games, so it's just 15 plate appearances. So
sure.
Let's see. I mean, does it really just go down? Is it just Keith? Keith at 32? Is that the next play?
The Towinator, if he's in the lineup.
Sure.
Jackson Holiday. I know, like Pablo. I love Pablo Lopez.
But you're a big Pablo Lopez guy, so I haven't really mentioned many or any.
Baltimore he gives up home runs. A lot of fly balls. So Jackson Holiday has been really good. Double dong the other day.
They got Willie Castro back too.
Yeah, we're so back. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate for
all of our guys.
All our winning that's going to come to a halt because we're going to play too many Twins moving forward.
Too many Twins.
Because at the end of the day, Carlos Correa hits in the middle of their lineup and will ruin all of our stacks.
Even though Carlos Correa versus lefty 3 years ago is like another day.
Yeah. Well, his back was still holding up by that 3 years ago. And his twin brother isn't playing for him right now. I don't know if you saw that conspiracy, but
is Lee still on the roster?
They sent down Julian.
Okay, well,
Julian was a casualty. Brooksley survived.
And Brooksley should be up, right?
Yes, he should definitely be up.
He should be their guy. All right, so that's second base. Massey's 25.
He's gonna be popular, dude. He plays he went over. I think he was like 15% on Monday over, but like if you get an over at 25, you're like whatever, right? I mean,
on this slate, yeah, for sure. All right, that's probably it. A second. We'll get the lineups. Myself and Keith will break it down for you guys. Third base. Polanco's your top price third baseman. Now won't be in the lineup though. Austin Wiley versus Abbott at 48. Novelli against Sale. No, thank you. Royce wasting no time. $4,600. He didn't have like strong splits versus lefties though, right? Or am I misremembering that?
I think 2 years ago he did. He just wasn't very good last year at all. He got off to a really good start and then wasn't.
His per 162 power numbers are as elite as they come.
Yeah, the power is the power.
Let's see. So 184 ISO last year actually was pretty good. It was 2 years ago. He was an 098 ISO. So 2000. He didn't do anything in 2023 except for hit for. Okay, so he's throwing me off. He hit 314 in 34 games in 2023, but had an 098 ISO. In 2024, he hit 250, but he upped his ISO up to 184. So sacrificed a little average for power there, which we can accept.
Okay.
So sure. All right. Had some power there for 4 homers against lefties there for Royce. Play him while he's healthy. He's got a homer. We know he's going to hit home runs.
Yes.
I don't know how many games he's going to play. That's the question. He'll hit 4 grand slams. So
true. Oh, that was a magical time. That was a magical year.
Every other day, grand slam for Royce Lewis 2 years ago.
Just imagine like the luck that you fall into coming up to the bases loaded that many times. It's crazy.
And then delivering over and over again. Michael Garcia's $3,900 again, under 4K Royals.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Going to be popular. You've been in on Vientos a bit of late, 34 for him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
India 31, another rinse and repeat.
Our guy in Renhefo is really struggling, but this would be a right split spot for him.
And if he can't get it done versus Eric Lauer, we might as well just wave
Ben
the white
Williamson's
flag.
been good against the lefty against Springs. You like Seattle.
Yep.
Josh Young always. No, that's Jace. It's a
No,
Josh
that's,
Young.
yeah, we know it's Jace. Yeah, it's Jace.
Jace has no power.
No, he has no anything.
No, nothing. All right, that's probably it for third, right?
Shortstop we go, brother.
Ellie De La Cruz, Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, Francisco Lindor, Trey Turner are your 5K and above plays. Lindor feels nice. Obviously, Bobby had another big day today at $5,800. So probably the two more popular spend up spots.
Yeah. And Gunner's been really good lately. Another like good split side for
Yeah.
him.
I see Baltimore being a low roster play in this one. I don't think many people go against Pablo Lopez.
No, I don't. I'm not like sitting here saying I'm just not opposed to playing Baltimore because the fly balls for Pablo Lopez and the home runs. Like there's Pablo Lopez can look like like you're like, well, that looks like the best pitcher in baseball at times, and then you're like, oh, actually, he's not.
No,
But
I agree.
he's great. But yeah, he's definitely susceptible to lefty power. So I'm definitely not shying away from any Gunner here.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even suggesting that. I think in tournaments they're a good play because they're probably no one's going to play them.
Okay.
Because of the matchup against Lopez, plus you can play, Bobby Witt Jr. there or down a little bit further. Mid range
down a little bit further. I already see. Oh,
$4,300 Zach Nato versus Eric Lau.
Oh, buddy.
What are we doing?
Oh boy, he's been so good.
What are we doing? That's a really good price tag.
It's a price, dude.
That's a great price. Bo Bichette, I know you said you're done playing him, but
dude, wait. Hold on.
He homered.
I had to give him a standing off. Hopefully my son doesn't wake up. But I had to give him a standing off.
He homered. We're off.
He homered. And then stole a base the next day.
Yep. So you got him against Anderson at $4,200. Adames in Chicago is a bit appealing.
Yeah.
Didn't have the double dong the other day.
With the righty on the bump.
Yeah, got Colin Ray on the mound.
I'm pretty sure, John, JP Crawford is a guy that hits both splits.
Everything. Sure.
And if he's leading off, he's too cheap, dude.
And again, Springs has just been bad when he's been at home. He pitched really well, obviously, in his most recent outing. But Cray is here against Povich at 32. I know you're down on him for obvious reasons.
I mean, I'd be okay 32 if you're like full stacking twins, right? 5-man twins. Yeah. But like, boy, he's just been...
Otherwise, spending down at this position right now feels pretty like a losing EV play.
Yep, 100%.
Outfield then. Again, find your stack. Pick the best player here. Build around it. Whether that's Judge, Kyle Tucker, Corbin Carroll, who led off today's game with a homer, and then his next at bat had a 107.1 mile an hour exit velo, 400-foot fly ball out.
Criminal. It's criminal.
I don't know the park factor numbers there, but I imagine that's a home run in a lot of ballparks in baseball. So even lefty certainly capable of throwing Corbin there. Tatis got ejected tonight, arguing balls and strikes in the 8th inning or 9th inning. So maybe he'd feel a bit motivated. He's 6K. That's 4 guys up over $6,000 on this slate. So a bit hefty. I do like Cubs outfielders. I do like Philadelphia here against Rasmussen. Just with that ballpark, you have Kyle Schwarber here at $5,500. We know the A's obviously are appealing. Buxton versus Povich at 5K feels really good because again, we are all the way in on Minnesota. So I like these. I like these 5K and up.
There's no wrong answer anywhere ever. Ronald Acuna on a rehab assignment, by the way. That's cool. Just saw that. Yes. Jackson Merrill back, by the way, $5,200. He's back.
I do like awesome. fun players are playing baseball.
I know that's fun. And he gets Clark Schmidt. We've talked about that for a few years, like the lefty stuff for Clark Schmidt.
in Yankee Stadium, back
in Yankee Stadium debut. Like, guys,
see what the rain
100%.
looks like, I guess, right?
See what?
The rain looks
The
like.
rain. Yeah, see what the rain looks like. It's bad. I mean, they played through a tsunami the whole game on Monday. Juan Soto. I mean, Juan Soto 5K is so stupid,
It's
dude.
too cheap. PCA is 48.
Probably too cheap.
I guess here's the question, right?
Yep.
For Detroit, we play their entire outfield usually. Like if you're gonna stack them,
Yeah, I know. It's true.
you basically play the outfield. So you have Riley Green, you have Kerry Carpenter, you can play what's his face? McKinstry, right? Does he still have outfield eligibility? I don't see.
Yes, he does. He's 4,700.
Oh, that's why I scrolled
48, 47, 46, and then Javi 41.
Yeah, and right, and Javi, who you think is fake, but right now he's still raking. So
it's fake. It's fake. I'm just telling you, it's fake.
It doesn't matter if it is or isn't. It's just right now it isn't.
No, it's like the Andy Pajes thing, right?
Yeah,
but this is also the Kyron Paris thing where it's fake, and right now, all right, so be it. Like if it's real now,
I will say this: the difference between Kyron Paris and Javier Baez is I've seen Javier Baez be a talented baseball player. Kyron Paris had a 130 batting average, something like that, at the major league level before his series in Tampa Bay, where he went off.
It's a fair point.
You know, like I believe Javier Baez still has like elite bat speed. Javier Baez's problem is they stopped caring about baseball. He's like he left the Mets in that free agency. The Tigers gave him
Cubs. The
Cubs rather. No, he didn't go to the Mets.
Is he on the Mets? No, he's the Cubs. Cubs and then
Cubs. Where did he go after the Cubs? I thought didn't he get traded to the Mets? I might be making
did he play for the Mets? You might be right. We're gonna look. We're gonna look at his baseball.
I might be misremembering a different infielder, but I thought someone got dealt to the Mets during like their playoff run. I thought it was Javier Baez, but maybe you're right.
You're right. 47 games.
Yeah.
9 home runs. He hit 300 for the Mets.
Yeah, and then those in the next year he signed with the Tigers.
Next year signed with the Tigers. 22.
Yeah, they gave him all this money. He's like, I don't need to play baseball because the Tigers aren't winning baseball games.
He had 671 OPS, and 22 was his best with the Tigers.
He's been horrific until this moment right here. Because I think what happened is when he starts to find success, he starts having fun again. I mean, we've all seen the GIF. The guy threw 3 pitches in the left opposing dugout, and he swung at all 3 of them.
It was the 50-cent first pitch that he was swinging.
Yeah, and Javi has swung at all 3 of them. Anyways, he's in Coors and he's cheap of the group. So this could just be another slate where it's like you just jam all 3. Who's pitching for Detroit in this game?
Jackson Jobe.
Oh, Jackson Jobe, right. Obviously, there's the outfield for Colorado, too. You've been in on Doyle. Tolia's got some power upside. But on a large slate like this, and if ownership is going to be so high on Detroit, do you ride that chalk or do you fade that chalk?
Dude, they're hitting a lot of home runs lately.
Right? Right now?
So many home runs.
Riley Green hit 2 in the 9th inning alone.
Dude, Kerry Bonds is hitting 300 this year with like 9 home runs.
Well, when he doesn't have a broken back, it seems like he can play baseball. So
no, I know, but like that's like the average part of this.
When does Parker Meadows come back? That's the real question.
It's true. That's true. They got a good dude. We're looking at the best.
They have the number 3 or 4 prospect in baseball too, and Max Clark. So like they're just still churning. Like they got guys coming. When you're bad for so long, you become the Orioles, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden, the Orioles are just loaded with all this first round top 5 talent. You know,
I think we're looking at the best team in the American League. Pretty right now.
You're 2 years away from 2 years away.
They were 2 years away from being 2 years away. They're not no Bruno Caboclo anymore. They're full blown.
Yeah, they won a playoff series last year, so
I know
I'm not giving them their due. So that's true.
I think they went Game 7 with Cleveland, right? Or Game 5 with Cleveland. It was the Tarek Skubal grand slam he allowed to. Yeah. You're like nobody you'd rather have on the mound in a Game 5, and it was he gives up
If
a
they
grand
didn't
slam.
trade Jack Flaherty, who knows what would have happened to them?
It's true. And
they had to go bullpen games in that series. Remember they're throwing Tyler Horton out there?
Yeah, and now they could. What a crappy scenario because they have Jack Flaherty back. They could have just been like, damn, we really didn't need to trade you last year.
Didn't need to trade him. Yeah, no. All right. Anyway, so Carpenter, Green, all of them are fine. Obviously going to be probably chalky.
I didn't answer your question. I'm sorry, but yeah, you can obviously fade them. We have Coors Light and Coors the third on this, all in the slate.
Yeah, so. And if the wind's blowing out in Chicago, like you have that versus Verlander. I even like the Giants here against Yaz, $4,700.
Yep,
has been good. Luis Roberts been a man on a mission, even though we kind of like Lugo. I mean, that guy's trying to get himself out of Dodge, so he's just playing baseball now.
Yeah.
Ozuna's still too cheap against Abbott. We've talked about the underlying numbers on Abbott. You know,
Braves look good, dude.
You know, the idea that there's probably some regression occurring sooner rather than later. Haps there. Let's see.
Dude, the Braves look really good. The Braves look good.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a lot of talent there. They obviously haven't had a consistent enough season yet. So,
yep.
Trent Grisham's going to lead off. Probably homer again at 42. Santana versus Anderson's 41.
Yep.
Let's see. Talked Baez already. Lawrence is lefty. Meisner. I mean, you played Blade tonight.
Double and a run scored in his first at bat. Dude, Ernie Hancock is not a good pitcher. That is not a good pitcher. There's a reason why he's been back and forth between AAA and the majors for the last 3 years.
Agreed. Jordan Beck, obviously, someone that will be looked at 37. Fastest man alive, Chandler Simpson. Even though against Zach Wheeler, we'll see if he gets on base. But if he does, he'll.
Dude, did you see him score on from second on an infield hit over the weekend?
I did. At some point, this $3,500 Soler price is going to pay itself off.
Yeah, because he's just going to hit
he's going to hit. He's 2 homers in the last 5. You know, I get it. But at some point, he's going to homer, and you're like $3,500 homer is going to be good enough. So.
I think I don't know if it was Skubal he homered. It was either Skubal or Casey Mize. I think he homered off Casey Mize in that Detroit series. But yeah, I mean, the guy just has insane power.
I gave you the shout for Lourdes, and I said it's starting to get hot a little bit. And the next time he faces a lefty, to kind of pay attention to it. Now, again, none of his numbers this year are going to look good because he hasn't been good. But recently, he has been great. So, and last year against left-handed pitching, at an 885 OPS and a 180 ISO, 380 WOBA. Again, hit 330 against left-handed pitching last season, hit 301 against the year before that. This guy's always hit left-handed pitching. So, this last, so far season, be damned. What he's been doing of late is more indicative, I think, of, the player that he can be. So at $3,400, you're going to get some Diamondbacks in your lineup. I don't mind this against Peterson at his price tag at $3,400. Let's see. I mean, they're kind of going.
Eli White at 32, dude. He has been unbelievable for the Braves. Unbelievable, this guy.
Yeah. Yep. It wasn't just Coors. He came out and had a good series against the Dodgers. India's down here. Let's see. Cam Smith, 3K.
I can't wait for him to get sent down.
Drew Waters, also 3K.
Drew. The bit lives.
Just get it on. Alec Burleson, $2,700. Homered again, right?
Yep, homered again. 2 games in a row. Isaac Collins, classic 2-hitter, probably going to hit second for the
hitter. Yeah. All right, I got nothing else. Let's see what we're gonna do here.
Let's build.
Let's see what we're gonna do here. I think we both agreed we're gonna play Sale, and Lugo, I guess. And if we need Lugo, Corey, we'll do that, right?
Yes.
Catcher, Jeffers. How much Twins are we playing? Let's get that out of the way.
Jesus Christmas. Bryce gets back. Bryce is back for one game, and you're already like, how many is too many? What's our limit?
What is our Twins exposure for today?
What's my spending limit on this credit card? How many Twins can I buy?
How many Twins can we play? Where's Brooks Lee? $2,900. All right, so we got 3. All right, $4,200. Let's see where we go. We had another. All right, we do Colt Keith at first, like you recommended, smartly.
Yes, true, totally. Yep.
All right,
Riley,
and then do Riley or Carpenter.
Both.
Both, yeah, dude. We can actually play them both. So,
and NATO, does that put us at NATO?
That's definitely NATO. That's definitely NATO. Yeah, NATO shortstop.
Each game we play.
I mean, listen, when a plan comes together, the plan comes together. 4-stack Detroit, 3-stack Minnesota, and a 1-off Zach NATO. $300 left over to do whatever you want with. Buy a gumball. I don't know. That's the way to go.
I mean, the 300 is go to Ty France at first if you want to be a sicko and play 4 Minnesota.
Just 4-man stack Minnesota here. Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
It's something. It's a thing.
I can't wait till Christian Vasquez is the catcher and I can't play Ryan Jeffers.
No, I think usually if there's like a day off, Jeffers is always in the lineup.
I mean, that's just where you're gonna go. I think it wouldn't even shock me if this is shocky. People know how bad Baltimore's pitching is.
Yeah.
And we're getting the Detroit exposure. So like we're getting Coors and we're getting Minnesota.
And we're playing like good players.
Yeah.
We didn't really
punt anything.
Except Hobby Bias, but
yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. We'll redo this again, though, at 5 o'clock. Myself and Keith here break it all down for you guys. We'll see what Keith thinks. I think Keith's on the playbook, so you can check that out, see what he has to say, and check his playbook out, and then listen to his words of advice on the 5 p.m. live stream. So Make sure you tune into that, everybody. We'll catch you later.